What makes a deadbeat dad?
What if you did have sex with somebody? She has the kid, and then you don't want to have kids. It was a one-night stand. It wasn't supposed to happen. Are you a deadbeat in that situation? What do you do?
If you could walk around and knowing that you had a kid walking around and you're not doing anything to make them better or help their life, straight deadbeat.
Has your father ever told you he loved you?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
My dad says one love.
Close.
What does that mean?
You're dealing with traumas of being a son or a daughter to a father or an absentee father. I think it's also imperative to make sure that you're asking what that story was like.
I was scared to ask.
How come you guys were scared to ask?
I didn't want to hear, I didn't want this. That means you didn't want us.
Have all of you been angry towards your father at some point and held on to it?
Yeah.
Who did that hurt?
Speaking for myself, I built up a lot of anger in my heart towards him. So no matter what he said or did, it was just because I was so angry. Like I would always see red when I see it.
Presence matters more than perfection. We're human at the end of the day.
I think that's one of the lessons that I had to learn.
Even though my father wasn't perfect, it was better, way better than not having him there. So you don't know why your dad and your mom didn't work?
I heard stories, but you know what I'm saying? What's the truth? Because I heard the man upped and left, but then I heard my mama stealing his money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you had to say one thing to your father, what would you say to him?
I would tell him,
Welcome back to another episode of He's a Guy podcast. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. There's a little button right here. Hit that button. We're quickly diving right into it. I have a question for you guys.
talk to us.
What makes a deadbeat dad?
Straight into it.
Dive, bro.
A deadbeat dad. I'd say, not handling your responsibilities. I think as a kid, the kid never asked to be in this world, right? So if you did the fun stuff.
What's the fun
What's
stuff?
the fun stuff, brother?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't sugarcoat it.
If you're out here having sex, you got to handle your responsibilities. And if you could walk around and knowing that you had a kid walking around and you're not doing anything to make them better or help their life, to me, straight deadbeat.
Yeah, I would agree with him on that. Deadbeat is at the end of the spectrum. It's like you're doing absolutely nothing in your child's life. I think the only question I would have to add to that, what if you did have sex with somebody?
I was going to challenge, but that's what
Yeah, if you had sex, you had sex with this girl, and then you don't want to have kids, she has the kid, what do you do? And you vocally, it was a one-night stand, it wasn't supposed to happen, what do you do? Are you a deadbeat in that situation, or are you a deadbeat when you intended to? Or is it the same?
That's a good question. If I had to answer that, you're still a deadbeat, my nigga. Sorry. I'm putting it like that. The reason why I say that is because, yeah, sure, you expressed yourself. You said you didn't want to have the kid, and it's messed up. You ended up in the situation you didn't want to be in, but at the end of the day, it's here now, right? You had the kid's here. You're going to act like the kid doesn't exist? Some mans do. You know what I mean? So that's why at that point, yeah, I would say you're a deadbeat. I'm going to be honest with you, because you could still take care of the kid and not have a relationship with the mother, right? Just because you don't have a relationship with the mother doesn't mean you're not going to have a relationship with your child. So to me, you're still a deadbeat.
Are you a deadbeat in that situation if you're paying, but you're not seeing the child?
Yes.
You're making your payments.
Yes, yes. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because even myself, I'm going to put myself in the situation, myself. There's a lot of times where I'm just working. You know what I mean? And then it's like my kids, they would rather just be with me. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter about the money. It doesn't matter about the material things. It doesn't matter about that. They want to spend time with you, right? And that's why a lot of us are hurt, because at the end of the day, we look to like, yo, you're my father. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just some time. That's all it is.
My thing is, because obviously biologically, we don't control the birth of a child beyond sex, right? After sex, it's kind of like our hands are out of how that comes now. So,
but the same could be said for a woman.
I don't think so.
Beforehand.
Yeah, but remember, laying down with each other is a partnered act, right? Mm-hmm. So if I now do this and you don't want the child, you can abort it. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but I mean, in a sense,
people don't believe in abortion.
You could.
Fine, but what I'm saying is, in terms of me speaking up and saying I don't want this child, I don't have a direct solution to how this is going to be solved. The woman does, right? So what I'm saying is now, if I say I don't want a child, or I don't want to be in a position for that to go on, and you go ahead and do that anyways as the woman, I'm still responsible. Biologically, I understand that's how it goes. But is that something we're just supposed to accept as men? Like, there should not be something that would be in place that kind of helps men out in that situation? Or is that one of those things where it's just like, yo, you're a man, deal with it, pull up by the waistband and take care of your responsibility?
It's one of those situations where it doesn't matter what you do, big dog. You're still a deadbeat. I'm sorry.
No, he's facts, because what's sad about that situation is, if I imagined every girl I had sex with, the sperm slipped through and they all got pregnant and they all had kids, that would be scary. It
would be a lot.
And then I would have to take care of all of these kids.
How many kids are there?
There'd be a lot of kids. More than I can count on these two hands, my brother.
But at the same time, though, if they said no, I don't want to, and you did, what can you say?
So, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, if she said she didn't want the child and he said he did?
If I let off into a woman, right, and she says, "Yo, you let off in me? I'm not ready for no kid." At whichever point in this next however long that she's ready to conceive this baby, she could say no and X that baby. And I could be on the other side and be like, yo, this girl killed my baby, but I wanted the baby.
I hear you.
I can't do that on the other side.
No, you cannot.
That's my point. Is that something that I just have to be like, it's how God intended? I have to pull up by it. Should there not be something in place? Because there's things in place on the reverse side.
Yes, I know, and it sucks.
That now says, quote unquote, makes me a deadbeat.
Yeah, I know.
You ever heard the term "focus on the things that you can control"?
Simple as that.
I mean,
it really is as simple as that.
Like, you know what you're doing going into it. I mean, at the end of the day, I hear this argument, but at the same time, it's like, we know what we're doing going into the situation. We know the extreme outcomes that can happen if whatever. You lay in the bed, you got to make it up. It is what it is, bro. And unfortunately, it's just the world we live in. We don't have that control, so you got to focus on the things you can control.
Sure.
That's a fact. But I agree. Deadbeat is doing nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Now I feel like we're gonna have a lot of stories today where it's like that gray area, everything in between. What is a deadbeat versus what if they do a 1-2?
Fair.
You know, they show up to a couple of games. Is
I was
that
about to say, what's a 1-2?
is that a good father? They pay for your one basketball tournament.
It's showing up
Give you a
enough.
shoe.
Is showing up enough?
You a shoe.
Are you trying to tell us something? Man, I got one shoe.
So to the viewers out there, if you couldn't tell, this is about fatherhood. And you might be asking yourself, why does this episode matter now? I think it's imperative. I think fatherhood is something that is, now I don't know about you gentlemen, but to me, I don't really know anybody that is a deadbeat father, especially in this generation of young black fathers that there are. I know a lot of black fathers have taken that chip on their shoulder of past gens and have now taken that role on for it to mean something more important today. So that to me speaks to me why it's important. So, there's a lot of things that, people are growing up without fathers, things like that from the past. But today we're seeing a kind of think of a change. We got a couple people on the cast members, that are fathers, and they can speak right to that. But I want to shoot over to Tashawn. What does this matter to you? Why does this episode matter to you?
It matters to me because, like, as much therapy as I've done, I see how much your childhood impacts how you are as an adult. And a lot of our childhood comes from our parents. And a lot of our childhood as men comes from our fathers. And, like, when I look around the room and I think about, like, all of our experiences growing up with our fathers, they're all very different, but there's a lot of similarities. And a lot of us feel like our fathers just weren't really there for us. And especially, like, our black fathers. Like, when I see some of, like, some of my white friends, I don't hear the same stories. I don't see that lack of support. And obviously there's reasons for that. But it's just like, you watch shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, always reference it, and you see Uncle Phil, like, put his arm around Will and say, you know what, son, I'm going to teach you some lessons. I wonder how much it would have improved our lives if we did that, if we had fathers who did that for us. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I just know how important having a good father is. And I think we have some young fathers here in the room. I'm probably going to be a father one day if my thing works. But it's important. It's like, this is something we have to talk about. Like, being a good father impacts the next generation,
Absolutely.
and being a good father impacted us. Like not having necessarily the fathers we would have wanted impact us, and maybe it's not fully their fault, but it's still something for us to talk about.
Absolutely. I want to shoot over to Freck. Freck, talk to me. Why is this topic matter?
It matters because I think I said this before, like, is the generational curse that needs to be broken. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not trying to make excuses for anyone's father or our fathers or the fathers before us or fathers. But I'm going to give you guys an example. I remember, so my grandpa, we were at his funeral, right? And apparently he has 30 plus kids. Nobody knows. So I said 30 plus. I said, that's a lot of kids. So we counted 28 that showed up to the funeral. So I said, how much more is missing? Nobody knows. But then I counted 3 that weren't there. So I said, there's 3 that weren't there. And my mom said, oh, yeah, yes, I'm in England. So I said, oh, he was doing his thing. And she said, yeah, but he was a good father. I said, how? And you know, and then she looked at me. She's like, no, but he was a good father. I said, Mom, stop. I understand it's the time, you know, we're at his funeral. There's no way you guys could all look at me and tell me he was a good father. Right? And this is my grandpa we're talking about. And it is what it is. It's real. There's no way you could be a good father to 8 different households. It's impossible. I don't care what anybody says to me. I don't care what it is. Because I have 2 kids. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's tough. Now imagine if I had to deal with my 2 here, another 6 over here, another 8 over here. How are you supporting all those households? Because what, you popped in and said, hey, I love you guys, and you kept it moving?
I'm glad you touched upon that. I'm going to shoot over to Juice first and ask him, why does this matter? Don't worry. We're getting back to this. Don't worry.
Yeah, just to echo the same sentiments that they're saying. It matters because I see how impactful it is to have somebody that's in your life, in your corner, that you can turn to and, you know, ask questions when needed, or not even have to ask. They can just read the room and just tell you, yo, this is what it is to be a man. And like, I see so many of my friends, like, again, like how we mentioned, like, we've all gone through different journeys and whatever. And then a lot of the similarities are like, yo, I never really had that conversation with my dad, or my dad never did this for me. My dad, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a common thing that we're all experiencing. And to Tashawn's point, like he was saying, like, a lot of us have come together now and trying to break this generational curse. And it's important to me because, again, like, I'm a father now, and I see how I show it for my kids and how important it is. And I want to continue to do that and spread the message to younger kids that are coming up as well.
No, that's major.
What about you, brother?
I'm about to skip past it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what everybody has said so far, spot on. I also just want to add, there's things that my father was present. There's things about him though that I know I wish I knew more of, or there's things that I wish I got more of like a insight to how he felt about things. And I see now, you know, more than ever, fathers like you guys, like yourselves, or friends of mine that are fathers that are a little bit more emotionally available and things of that nature. So I think it's important now because we're the changing of the tide. First of all, from past generations to this generation, where it's like no matter how hard things are, and again, not to give anybody an excuse or anything like that of past, but no matter how things are, I still see, you know, the friends that I have be there for theirs. You know, I still see friends that I have through hell and high water make things happen. They'll never let their child know that, you know, they're going without or whatever the case is. They're doing what they have to do, and I shout out to anybody that's doing that now. My dad especially. But yeah, I think that because I'm of age now that I can understand a lot more things. It's important to have this dialogue and to have the message be spread that Black men especially are taking that fatherhood role a little bit more seriously than what we have done. So I think that's why it's important. Now, getting back to what Freck was talking about. Again, I see this as a constant. This is an old thing. This is years on end. Nick Cannon and these kids. See? People will say that it's a terrible thing. But then I see people that say, you know what? Nick's doing this thing. He's been ill. He's been cured or whatever the case is surrounding that narrative. But he's out there making a bag of kids. He has, from what I know, generational money where, you know, things will be taken care of beyond him being here. But I know Tashawn touched upon it. I know that you guys will for sure. Does giving money to the mother of your children and making sure that they're taken care of beyond their wildest measures, because he has that type of bankroll, does that make up for the absence?
That's his responsibility. Does that make him a good father? You see what I'm saying? When we're now, it gets very touchy because it's like, yeah, I paid over here and I paid that house, I paid that house, I paid that house, but are you spending time with your kids? Are you going out there throwing a ball with them? Are you going there making those jokes with them? If you pop, there's a difference between popping in and actually being there. Because my dad was a pop-in type.
Mm-hmm.
Pop in, hey, what you doing? You good? Yeah, all right.
See you when I see you.
Yes. There's literally, I'll see you when I see you. Or you get the text, you know, I'm going to see you just now. What does that mean? What does just now mean? There's a lot of stuff we need to clear up in here. You get what I'm saying? Because it's those little slick comments and talk, because like you said, you were young. You're like, oh, my dad's coming just now. Mm-hmm. But just now turns into a week, 2 weeks, and then a month, and you're like,
I see this guy.
Where are you?
It's a fact.
Where are you? Know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not going to talk down on Nick Cannon or anybody because I don't know what he's actually doing. But I am, from what I'm, once again, me personally, I do not think you could be a great father to all these homes that you created just because you gave money to them. Mm-hmm. They're actually not, you're not being a father. Those are your responsibilities. You have to take care of them, right? But are you actually being a good father?
And I think a person of like Nick's stature, like think about it, like as a basketball player playing in the NBA, you're already limited
to the time you have.
The time that you have, and like he's multi-businesses on this TV show. So really, what time is he actually putting in to spend with the kids? And like, again, monetary value, you could tell a kid, I just gave you $1 million. They don't understand that. But what they do understand is, was daddy there this morning to help me get ready for school? Was daddy there to help me with my homework? Like you said, did we throw around the basketball? Did we joke? Did we play games? And like, as I'm older and getting further in this fatherhood situation, I see how important it is. Like sometimes I'm dead tired, and I see my son would be like, Daddy, yo, he has this new like snakes and ladders game. Like, Daddy, come play snakes and ladders. I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. But it doesn't matter to him that I worked
He doesn't know
11 hours, and then I got him all these toys for Christmas. I got him all this. It doesn't matter, because what matters to him is that bonding time that we get to spend with each other. And like, to answer the question, I highly doubt Nick is able to, even with his means, to extend that commitment to all those kids, like enough for them to be like, yo, like, yeah, my dad was there all the time. I don't know for sure, but I'm trying to picture it for myself, and I just be like, it's too hard.
Let me pose a scenario for you, T. You're one of the children, or you're just even an onlooker as you are. Let me not specify it like that. You're just an onlooker as you are. He has the means to now, maybe if he can get all of the women that he's been with on one accord, move them from wherever they are by coastal, this, that, and the third, and put them all in one area, maybe LA, maybe Miami, whatever the case is. But centralize those children to be in one place. Would that change anything for you?
In the same house, you mean?
No. Just in the same neighborhood. Regulated area.
He's running like a daddy boot camp with the kids in one place.
You want to call it that. I'm not calling it that. We're going to blow up your
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Do I think it's possible to be a good father to 30 kids? Absolutely. But the scenario you're giving is like, yo, he brings them all to one place. He sees them all. Like, you have to run like a pretty tight system to really love these kids. I think it's possible, but ain't nobody doing that. Let's be real. Like, it's not, he doesn't strike me as the responsible type to do all that. It's like, because your kids, at the end of the day, it's like they need that love, they need that time, they need that respect, they need all that type of stuff. They might not get it. But do I think a kid that has no dad in the hood versus one of Nick Cannon's kid, who's better off? I'll be one of Nick Cannon's kids versus the broke one in the hood, because it's like,
okay, so generalize that question a little bit for me. Give me a this or that right now on that. Tell me what you mean.
Broke in the hood with your father sort of there versus being one of Nick Cannon's kids where you got lots of money, you got resources, your mom is there, and you have a foundation to at least
So he's
make
handing
something
you the
in your
keys.
life. Huh?
He's handing you the keys.
Handing you the keys. What are you taking?
Well, it's pretty obvious.
Is it?
Yeah, who wants to be in the hood?
You're taking the silver spoon, but I think
Right.
that there are some pros to the other one though.
I was gonna say like there's so
Because
okay.
think about all the situations that we've had to like go through, and that it taught us something. Whereas if it's more so handed to us, it's not the same.
And that's what I was about to say. Like, as much as we're gonna talk about our experience, I wouldn't change it for anything because that's what made me who I am today.
And that's why
it
I'm
made
saying
me
there's
have
both sides of the
It made
coin.
me have tough skin. It made me not care about certain things, and I hate to say it, like, it makes you a little tougher. Not on the emotional side, right? Because it's like you got lied to so many times, you're just numb to it now. Like,
Yeah.
look at this nigga still lying.
Yeah,
like,
facts.
I'm a big man now. You don't gotta lie to me.
You can't pull that one off.
You did that already. That's old, big man. Try a new trick.
Yeah.
And I think like if we're all Nick Cannon's kids, when people watch this, do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have the same merit. It doesn't have that same grit that we come with, because not to say that we didn't work for it, but it was, we had a little bit of a head start,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
I think the problem is like sometimes we think grit has to come from this like
Tough place.
struggle, like you like came out the mud. Like, is there a way we could be? So, for example, like, how do you guys teach your kids grit? Because like, they're not in the mud, but it's like
We ain't going back.
that's what I'm saying. So it's like, how do you make sure your kids are not soft?
Yo, listen to me. Let me tell you something. You took me out, but it's still in me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So certain situations when I'm like, oh no, hey, fix up. We're not doing that. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to think of a situation at the top of my head where I was like, yeah, don't let me bring you there and drop you off. You know what I mean? But it's never ever gonna happen. But at the same time, like, I realize my kids are tough. They're just spoiled. You know what I'm saying?
Can you have both?
Mhm.
Can you have both?
You can, but it's very tough because it's like it's a very thin line of when you're spoiling them because you do want to give them everything you want, but you also don't want them to not understand the value of hard work.
Okay.
Right. So it gets very tough. So like honestly, I'm still finding the line to like break it off. But when I see certain things that I don't like I'm gonna give you an example. Growing up in my mom's house. When I'm finished with my plate, you think I can leave it on that table
Yeah, get up to your plate.
and bring it to the kitchen, put it in the sink? My son gets up and leaves that, and I see the man just cocked back on the couch watching his shows. I said, "Yo, big man, what is this?" He goes, "What's up?" I said, "What do you mean, what's up? Who ate all that plate?" He goes, "Me." He goes, "Just put it in the sink for me." Huh? Get up right now. Go pick up your plate and put it in the sink. I was gonna do it, Dad. No. Nice try. I seen this. It's becoming a pattern.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying. So that's when you nip things in the butt.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a very fine line.
Okay. Juice, how about you? What's grit versus soft in your household?
I think like Terrell hit it on the head, but what I'd add to it is just like when certain situations come up, like definitely I want to say my son's he's way more spoiled than I was, but at the same time I do want to give him a life that I didn't necessarily have, but I think I'm a person of principles, right? So, and I think manners is definitely one of those things. So like when we're talking about grit, it's still being respectful. And when a hard situation comes, it's not like necessarily we're giving up because you have mommy and daddy to kind of solve the problem for you. Nah, like, okay, use the right language. I'm having difficulty right now doing this. Okay, cool. I can help guide you through the situation, but you ultimately you have to figure it out yourself. So it's just kind of just giving him those kind of preemptive steps for later in life to make sure that like when he is in a situation and I'm not around, he has that grit to pull out of him because he's like, I know that back in the day, this wasn't ever given to me. I got to figure it out.
Okay. I have a quote for you guys. The apple does not fall far from the tree. In the case of fatherhood, do you agree or disagree with that statement?
You know what's so funny?
What's funny?
I usually agree with that like that saying, but in my situation when it comes to fatherhood, I don't agree with it because I always said, like Leon said, I want to give them everything. I don't want them to. I want adversity to kick in sometimes.
Absolutely.
Right. I want him to figure things out. I want him to not quit. But I feel like, my father will come here and say the same thing, but he didn't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, big man, figure it out, right? Yeah. But when I look back at it, I'm just gonna say from fatherhood, no, because if the apple was still close to the tree, then I would be doing what he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I going back to what I'm saying, breaking those generational curses. Right. That Jamaican man that raided 4 or 5 women at the same time, 4 different households. So like, I don't want that for myself or my family or for my kids. I want everybody to be in one household, love each other, understand what a family is. Right? I'm not saying I never was taught what a family is, but I come from a single mom household. Right? So there was really no father figure in showing you how to do certain things, or like Dion said, come into your dad with like there might have been some difficulties and you're teaching them. Right? There wasn't that for me. It was like my mom was everything. Right. You know what I'm saying? She was my mom and she was my dad. And there's no disrespect to my dad. My dad was there. Like, I could call him, but you weren't in the household. And I don't know what they actually went through. Right. Because, hey, listen, as much as I love my mom, if you're watching this, but you were a handful. She was a handful. She was a handful. So I could see certain situations where I could be like, I can see why this guy left. But at the same time, no matter what me and my wife go through, I ain't leaving. You know what I'm saying? And the difference is, what I love about her is she'd be like, take your kids. And then she's out. Back in the day, we're done, and they're really done. They're gone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't go for the saying with the fathers.
Wait, so you don't know why your dad and your mom didn't work?
I heard stories, but you know what I'm saying? What's the truth? What's the truth? Because because I heard the man upped and left, but then I heard my mama stealing his money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how you spend my money?
But you know what I'm saying?
I know Donna. She didn't do that.
So, you see what I'm saying? But my mom said, so what? My teeth are 20 for my nails. Is it really stealing?
If it's your kids?
But that's what I'm saying. So it's like, I really don't know the real story. But as we get older, like, I should ask. I should really ask. That's the thing, because even with my grandpa, my dad's side that passed away, RIP to him, he told me his story. Mm-hmm. And we didn't know. Like, me and my wife sat there and were like, oh, wow, like, I'm surprised he opened it up. And he admitted to his faults. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you hear stories, but then I don't know the other side. So it's like, it is what it is. But when somebody's actually telling you their faults, then you're like, this story's real. My mom never told me her faults, and my dad never told me his faults. My grandpa told me his faults, and right. You live and you learn and you hear all these things. But their two stories don't add up, so that's all I'm saying.
Before we get back into it, Guys Night featuring Mind State U is the last Thursday of every month. It's where men come to learn something new, have real conversations like we do here, and keep each other accountable. If you're about growth and community, pull up. You can find more information in our IG bio and in the description below. Limited spots available.
I think for that quote, today, like I said, with all the people that I know that are fathers my age, and just, whether below or above me in my age, just relatively same age group though. I don't think that statement is as true as it could be in other scenarios, only because even my dad's scenario, like he didn't grow up with a father, right? So it's like he wanted to make sure that narrative for not only black fathers, but his situation was changed. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a chip that, not only you two speak on time and time again, you're trying to change that. I know other friends of mine, they try to change that. I know for me, like in what Tashawn asked, like knowing the story, I think in becoming a father, we do it in so many other areas, right? Where we do like marriage counseling, we'll do therapy about our own lives and things like that. But to become a father, you're dealing with traumas of being a son or a daughter to a father or an absentee father, right? So I think it's also imperative now, if you have either the mother or the father there, to make sure that you're asking those that came before you what that story was like, or what that relationship that they had between the two parents were like. So now that you come in with the mindset of not only not falling so close to that tree, maybe, or if it did work out, to absolutely fall close to that tree. You know what I mean? I think that would be. What other example would you actually take to heart if you didn't, right?
I was scared to ask.
So was I, but brother, I'm not gonna lie, it fell upon me.
You should ask what?
That question of like, yo, how didn't this work, or why did you do certain things, or
how come you guys were scared to ask?
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't want to hear, I didn't want this. That means you didn't want us. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I would have taken it as a child, right? So now, like I said, now that I'm older, I'm curious to ask now, right? But it's like I don't really care. I don't really care to ask. Did you ever ask your parents?
I think I just assumed what it was, but I don't think I ever.
That's what I'm saying.
I think I maybe heard my mom's side. I look at my dad. I'm like, I get it.
So again, for me, it was one of those things where almost I didn't have to ask. Like it was something that fell upon me, and again, it was one of those things where, you know what? Let me take that back. From my dad's perspective, my mom's perspective, I was kind of there for to see the after effect. So I kind of understood the hurt, and then it became one of those taboo things where it's like I don't know if I want to rehash this. I'll find out what did it or didn't work. I'll assume for what I know and what I don't know. But for my dad, I felt like as I got older and become a man within myself, it was just something that, you know, sparked in one of those talks that we were having, and it became one of those things where it's like, yo, he would tell me certain things, and then it would shift kind of the thought that I had as to some of the scenarios that, you know, I lived through. And it was like, okay. But now, as a man, like I said, seeing myself navigate through relationships with women, I get it. There's different things that he may not have been able to explain to me as a child or a young adolescent.
That was also with your mom.
That was also with my mom. So he's not trying to shape something with my mom to now make me look at her like, oh my God, these are one of the women that I call crazy. You know what I mean? He was respectful enough to know that's still my mom because, again, he didn't grow up with a father. So it'd be crazy for somebody to tell him to treat his mom the same way. So, but
I can respect that perspective too, because I think like even thinking to tell my son a story like, yo, this is how I would do this, be like, but I did this before. And you have that kind of gray area where it's like, okay,
how truthful can I be for this guy to take this?
Where he's like looking at me like, that story's not about my mom.
Exactly.
So what are you talking about?
Exactly.
But to answer your question, I guess I want to say I do think it's a true statement. There's so many times that I'm doing things sometimes, and unconsciously I'm doing things that like my dad did. For example, like growing up, my dad used to always beatbox. And then I find myself sometimes
just naturally
just doing it to my kids, and I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? My dad used to do that, or like he used to do some stuff in the car where he would like freaking just slam on his brakes. Be, oh, do you see that? And sometimes I do it. So I think
no, that's facts.
no, real shit. Like, but I think it does fall close to the tree sometimes, but I think sometimes, like depending on what it pertains to, it has hurt involved with it. Where it's like now it's kind of okay, I'm not doing this
because this hurt. Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's a lesson in it at the same time. Like you learn from this not to do this because it's so close to the tree. If that makes sense.
T, do you have any when did you realize, or do you realize if you have any similarities to your dad?
Well, yeah. But you're laughing.
I'm not laughing.
No. Because I was agreeing with Theon with the apple.
Yeah,
does not fall from the tree.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. You didn't answer that.
No, but it's the same. It's one and the same when I'm thinking about it. Like, I just think we spend so much time studying subjects and how to make money and all these things. Yeah. We don't study our parents, and I think like a lot of us is like our DNA. Like we're them.
That makeup.
Like they pass on so much stuff to us, and we don't even take it in. And some things we take in, and the things we take in, we either keep them or we change them. But I think like the apple falls right there. If you decide to roll down the hill, that's a different thing. But it's like, for me, it's like, yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, my dad's child. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, I have a lot of his characteristics. The ones I love, like his charisma, his adventure, he's funny. Yeah. I gotta want to joke. His smile, how he is with people.
You think you're funny?
Yeah, I'm funny.
It's a circle back.
Funny.
You weren't funny before. You've been coming hot lately. You've been writing your notes. I take it in.
It comes with age. You know what I'm saying? I'm aging into it. But a lot of the great things I did inherit from my dad. But there's also some other ones. With charisma comes, being a ladies' man, being a gallus, and in seeing like some of the decisions he made in his life as it relates to women, I just feel like a lot of things went wrong in his life associated with chasing women. And I it got to the point where I just started to believe like, yo, if you have too much women in your life, it'll bring you down. One way or another. Either you're gonna have kids you didn't really want, you're gonna have issues with them, they're gonna say this, they're gonna say that. Like, you're just opening yourself up to all this risk and challenges. And it's like, I saw that side and I was just like, yeah, I don't want no parts of that. And no disrespect to him, it's just like, I just don't want no parts of it. Like, I love my dad, but like, I just, there's certain things you see, and you're supposed to be the generation that's one better than the one before. You see mistakes they make, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to have those same mistakes. But to your guys' point, it would be cool if your parents told you their mistakes ahead of time so that you could understand, like, yo, maybe I am like this in a certain way. You know what I mean? If they're like, yo, son, let me sit down with you. Be careful out there with these women because X, wear a condom. I wish I heard wear a condom earlier. Why are you laughing, brother?
Because it's no condom gang, duh.
Because, yo, it feels so good. But if I never had it, I would never know.
Maybe.
You see what I'm saying? But it's like, it's these lessons. Like, I wish I had those Uncle Phil moments. Wear a condom.
I got a question.
That was the only thing you wish you could.
That one stuck with him.
No, there's more, brother.
So that's what you wanted to know. That's what you wanted him to tell you.
I had a list and you guys interrupted me.
You kept standing.
How to drive standard.
Okay. That was
How to be a leader.
Right.
How to be confident in yourself.
Okay.
How to treat a woman. How to fight.
Maybe he wasn't a fighter.
So at least take me to karate or something.
You know what? I don't know how to fight, so this is how we're gonna help that.
You know what I'm saying? But these are the type of things. Like, I just feel like as a father, you really want to equip your children for success in this world, and it's like you have that responsibility. But again, I hear them when you don't have a father. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
And I was gonna say, it's funny that we're actually talking about this. I don't know if you guys have seen on Instagram that like thing that's going around where the mom is recording the dad and the two kids, and it's like she's like, take a step forward if
I saw that.
you have your dad every morning to like help you make your bed and get you ready for school.
Kid
Kids,
left
take a
daddy
step.
behind.
Take a step forward if your dad's ever signed your permission for him. Just take a step forward. Take a step forward if like your dad's ever told you I love you. And like, I think like more to your point, what you guys were saying is like figuring out who they were and learn what they didn't have at the same time. Like, as I'm a father, as much as sometimes I'm like, I'll get like upset because I'm like I just don't get it. I do give grace because I think if we were to do that as well, I think my son would blow us out the water.
Yeah.
I think I would take some steps, but there would be some steps I think I'd be ahead of my dad, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And I do think it's important for us to sometimes give them grace, and also take it upon ourselves to learn as well.
No, absolutely.
Quick question. We're gonna start with Tashawn, and we're gonna go this way. So I'm gonna go last. No, just it's a quick question.
Over there.
No, like it goes Tashawn, Theon, you and me. Has your father ever told you he loved you?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
My dad says one love.
Close.
What does that mean?
It's close.
Does he beat his chest and say
that's-
I don't know.
That's Bob Marley.
So essentially, one love is that my one love is for you.
All right, just wanted to know.
I'm freestyling out.
It's like saying love. Like, it's just
LUV?
no. It's like saying, you know, you get off the phone, say, all right, love.
It's not the same. That's not the same. I do that.
Top left.
I do the one.
If my dad did that, I'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah, that facts.
So well, hold on. So just to clarify, you would say I love you, and he would say love.
I don't even say I love you to him, but I'm just saying.
You don't say I love you to us either. So that's
It didn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, but hold on.
Set him up. That's the question you had.
No,
wasn't trying
okay,
to.
but you see, we're talking about fatherhood when we go here.
Fatherhood.
So exactly. So remember, I don't know if you guys we're gonna rewind a little bit, where it's like I caught myself not telling my son,
Yes.
I love you.
Yes.
Right, and then I told you guys. My wife said every time you leave this house,
Tell him. Yep.
you tell us that you love us because we don't know if you're coming back. Right, we don't want the last things for you to say is bye. You know what I'm saying? I love you. So every time I leave, that's the first thing. I love you guys. See you guys when I get back. I've never heard I love you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one love, son.
And
All right, cool.
this is where I like to incorporate the grace into this. What if that's all he had in that moment to give. I'm not saying he's right at all. By any means, I think it is important to say I love you and express that. What if that's all he had to pull, and that's the only way? Like sometimes think about it in a situation you want to tell somebody something, and the words just don't come out. But those are the only words you had to give out.
And my response to that is called excuses, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because as a child, it's cool to tell your child I love you. You get what I'm saying? Because that's what they're hearing. Oh, shoot, my dad really loves me. As a grown man, you tell me one love, I respect it. One love back. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? As you get older, if you don't tell your son he loves you and you say one love, then I would say, okay, cool. That's his way of saying I love you. But as a child, you never said that once. Now just imagine if your father's never said that to you guys, but you get a text now when you're like 23, 24, one love. What does that mean?
So let me ask you, the same way that Juice is described that one love, that's all you had, that's the grace, right? Even asking a bit differently, in the step forward, step back, same scenario that you guys are giving. What if he never got any of that?
And it's funny that you say that because I spoke with my grandpa, and my grandpa, like I told you, he admit to his faults. Yeah. So that's why when we say doesn't fall too far from the tree, I could see that on his end. Right. But where was your mindset, like mine, to say, like, to make a change?
I hear what you're saying. But he did inch further, though. One love versus never being told I love you might have just been different.
One love came when?
So, Troy, you're asking the wrong guy.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's why I said to Theon, excuses, right? Because the words I love you cost what?
It costs nothing. I understand.
That's my whole point, right? So it's either we're gonna keep it real or we're gonna talk about fatherhoods and how to break these generational curses and move forward, right? I'm not, like I told you guys, I will not take anything back from the childhood and the experiences that I had, because that's what made me today. But it also made me realize a lot of things, and it makes you move forward and becoming a man in certain things that you don't want. Okay. Right? And like I told you guys, I know there's a lot of women out there, when they get mad at their significant other, they're out and they take their kids or whatever. Nah. Yo, here are your kids and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what more so I respect. It's not like, oh, you ran off and you took the kids and now we're fighting and we're trying to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? It's more so, yo, these are yours. These are yours. I'm gonna holler at you,
but don't hand them to me like it's like a piece of belongings.
I used to look at it like that.
Like, this is your pen. Nah, nigga, it's my you. How you guys?
I used to look at it like that.
That's what it is. Right?
You know what I mean? I would rather you give me them than when I come home like, damn, you took everything.
All right, okay. So changing the gears a little bit, just a tad. This is a big question to me. When it comes to your guys' fathers, obviously respectively, what did they teach you, or what did their actions teach you about how to love women, or your view about women?
It's a tough one.
Me?
Everybody, bro. Jump out.
You've been quiet over there, big dog.
Yeah, I want to hear with you, Condom Man. I definitely want to hear from you.
We're looking for some sponsors, you know?
Sure, one love.
That's what I love about you guys. Serious moment, just laugh about it.
Holy smokes. I think my father, he's a very loving guy. So I say, like, he really taught me, just like be yourself.
See what straight face.
No. I'm saying, you lying.
You never told me that. I never told you that. I know that guy. That's so good.
You don't give too much grace.
Never said that. I know who that man is. He never said that. Oh my goodness. I didn't say he said that.
No, hold on. You guys, holy smokes. I never said he said
my fault.
I said what I learned. You asked what I learned from him.
You're right. My fault.
So a lot of the lessons from my dad that I've learned, they weren't necessarily things.
We laughed too hard. My bad.
All right.
A lot of the lessons I learned from my dad, they weren't necessarily things that he he told me.
Okay.
A lot of them are just things like I observed, right? Or like things I saw that work for him. And I feel like with him, it was like, he just taught me to be charismatic, like be yourself, be outgoing, be adventurous, try your best. Like it was these type of things, but he never sat me down, put my arm around me and said, son,
Be yourself.
be yourself. He didn't do that. But I think a lot of the things I learned about him were just like, he was just a fun guy to be around. So it was like, when it comes to like loving women, it was just like, just be a fun guy. Like take them to do fun things, make them laugh. But on the other side of it, it wasn't, I don't find like a lot of those principles are like, they're good for like meeting somebody and like dating somebody, but when it comes to a long-term relationship, I don't think all those things work. So it's like, that was the other side of it. It was like, I knew how to have a good time. Like, I'll come, you have a good night, boom, bang, bang, no condom. But, I'm just kidding. See, I took it too far. But, taking it a step further, I didn't really understand like how to treat a woman, how to love a woman, how to take care of a woman, how to, like, those things I didn't learn. So it was like, I learned the step one, but I never learned the rest of the game.
Are you still learning? Or you figured it out?
I'm figuring it out, brother. I'm figuring it out every day as I go. Because a relationship, like, I'm just in a newer relationship. It's been almost a year now. And that shit's hard. It's not easy. Like, you learn so much about yourself that I just didn't know. I was so about me before, right? And when I look at some of the things I learned from my dad, he's, in a way, he's unselfish, but in a way, he's very selfish. And
Explain that.
So, like, he comes off as unselfish because he has such a good heart, and you know this. Like, he'll give you the shirt off of his back. But then he might disappear for 5 days and not hear from him. And you'll be worrying and stressed. And because he could be feeling how he's feeling in his situation, he's not thinking about how you're feeling. So that's the kind of selfish I'm talking about, where it's like, you could come in, bulldoze the whole situation, go off and be like, well, I was hurt too. I feel like that's kind of how it is with him. It's like, he's a great person. You know he has a good heart. He has good intentions, but sometimes like those good intentions end up punching you in your face. And that's kind of the hard part sometimes. And I feel like that's something I had to learn how to navigate myself, because I just used to think, I'm such a nice guy. I come take you on a date, you fell in love with me, I didn't want to be with you, sorry. Like, it is what it is. But it's like, you're hurting people sometimes, you don't even see it. And it's like, that was something I inherited, because it's like, I wasn't self-aware like that. I wasn't aware I was hurting you. I was just living my life. Oh, sorry, like, oh, I'm messed. You know when people just say, oh, I'm messed up? Like, oh, I'm so messed up. But just keep hurting people. And it's like, when do you take responsibility, right? When do you start taking responsibility for your actions? And I think that's the thing, like, that I'm still learning, is just like, what's my role? And then, like, how do I take responsibility?
Juice, how did or what were you taught about how to love, or your view on women?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't think there was anything that I could say I really learned. I think growing up, obviously, I looked at how he dealt with relationships through a skewed lens. I know that, like, he was with other women, but I don't think that I looked at it like for face value, how he treated them, any of those things, because my pretense before that was he's not with my mom. You know what I mean? And I can openly say, like, now, I never really gave his past relationships a chance, because I was just like, I never really.
Okay,
you're not my mom. So to say that he treated them really well, and I learned from that, I can't say that. And
question:
Yeah.
Were you ever happy for it?
Was I ever happy for him?
Ooh, that's a good one. Think about my damn self.
I would say yeah. Like,
Out of 10, because it seems like you're struggling. Out of 10,
No,
how
I'm
happy were you for him? That he was in another relationship, like seeing him happy in another relationship, knowing that you said.
Are you saying as a kid or now?
As a kid, like when you're seeing these other women that whatever he's in a relationship with, and you're saying that, well, whatever, I didn't give it a chance because it wasn't my mom. So were you actually happy for him that he was in another relationship, or you're like, whatever, fails, it fails. I'm not happy for him.
I think, yeah, I was definitely happy. I would say maybe like a 6-7.
Like 6-7 or. Okay, just making sure.
You're a dad.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. I hear it on the coaching. I hear it all the time. So
yeah, I would say maybe a 6-7. I think I was happy to see like somebody that I love
Be happy.
Be happy. You know what I mean? And I think that's as far as it went. No, to be very truthful. And I'm sad that this is how he's gonna learn all this stuff. But yeah, I would say about 6, 7, just because he was, he was happy. But I think a lot of, as it relates to like what I learned, I say one thing that I don't like that I learned is like when I was a kid, kind of the way I heard how like he spoke to my mom. Mm-hmm. And as I grew up, it came out of me as well. And even today, I'm still learning, and I don't want to ever like disrespect. I don't disrespect women, but I don't ever want to use my words and kind of manipulate a situation to make somebody feel like less than. And I see it sometimes, and I think I'm at a point in my life now where I realize when it's happening, and I'm like, okay, kind of step back from this. But definitely something I learned.
What made you What made you want him to be with your mom when you were younger? Because did you want that for him, or no?
I think like young, like obviously, you know what I mean. Having to have a birth, like I think my family's always done a lot of stuff together, but like not being able to like wake up on Christmas and like have both my parents in the house it's like weird. You watch all these movies and you see all these TV shows, and that's the norm, right? But I can't say that I've ever wanted my parents to be together besides like for like holidays and all that stuff. I've never said like, wow, like I could see them together. And even to this day, it's not something I would ever really want.
I can echo some of that though. I feel like I said this on this podcast before, where it's like when it came to my parents and marriage and things like that, they waited until like my siblings were all of age that they felt like we could understand. But to be honest, like kids know, like that's something that kind of instinctually where you can see energies wise. Kids energies don't lie towards people, right? And I strongly believe that. So it's like we saw a lot of the fighting, even if they tried to hide it as best as they could. We could just feel like there's just pretentious energy, like all this type of things in the household, and we almost were like joyous when they were separated at that point, because like, yes, finally we knew. Like you guys should have been left each other, right? So I can agree with that. Where it's like, for me and my parents, I don't know if there was ever a point where I was like, yeah, no, they needed to be together for my happiness, for your happiness.
Do you wish they told you?
Do I wish they told me earlier?
Like when you saw their beefing, like do you wish they just sat down with the kids and said, like, would you have done that? Like now, knowing what you know now, would you handle that differently?
Absolutely.
You think kids should know? Like, what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again.
Like what age we talking though?
I think as soon as kids are a sponge, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. So whatever age you feel like they're starting to grasp info, that's when you should. And it'll be maybe at different ages. So I don't want to give an age out, but I think as soon as, and I'm speaking strictly from what I understood or what I endured, as soon as I could understand it, I saw it. And it was one of those things where, again, now even changing it to how you see or view women, or how you treat them, how you love them, or whatever the case is for me is, again, I got the same old spiel. I have sisters. I don't have any brothers. So I got the same old spiel of, yo, certain time of the month, they're going to be a little bit more emotional. You're going to have to just deal with it. Cool. You got to respect them. Cool. Can't talk to them out their name. Cool. Yeah, you might lash or whatever, but it's on you to apologize. I was quick to understand that even them, when you were wrong, when you know you're right about something and you somehow get to prove that to them and they're mad at you for being right, you still might have to apologize for being, like, there's so many teachings that my dad got through my mind, but they were general. They weren't anything that taught me actually how to love a woman, right? Even when it comes to sex conversations, right? It was, I remember the first and only sex conversation I had with my dad. No birds and the bees talks, no none of that. You know that comfortable position most niggas are in when they're laying down, their hands in their pants, you know, just chilling, watching a show. This is me as a kid, okay? My dad, I'm in his room as he's getting ready to go out.
He wasn't getting ready. He was chilling, fam. So the hands in the pants?
Me? No, I was. I'm saying him. He's getting ready to go out. He's back between his closet to his to the bathroom, and the TV's kind of like in the middle. So I'm on his bed chilling with him, while he's getting ready, whatever. My hands, and he comes out the room, and I remember he looked at me. I snatched my hand on my pants real quick because I obviously look weird. He goes, "Hey, if that's what you're doing, put a hat on." It's a hat. It's a hat. He's like, and he showed me box condoms. Swear down, only Birds and the Bees talk I ever got.
We want to put this out there. These are guys available to speak at schools, community spaces, or your next event. We talk to young men about mental health, pressure, confidence, and what it really means to grow into yourself. No lectures, just real conversations that meet the audience where they're at. If that sounds like something your school or organization needs, check the show notes.
Did your dad give you sex talk?
Ours was awkward, but it wasn't really a sex talk. I was at because he lived with his sister for a little bit, so she has kids, and I had a younger cousin there, and I remember I walked in the room and the man was watching porn.
It's a crazy.
Not my dad. Not my dad. Not my dad. Let me give you a little more context.
Can't leave me like that. Why you do this, man?
Then I walked in, my cousin, because my dad picked me up, so I came to the cousin's house, and I walked into this room, like, let him know I was there. Man was watching porn. I didn't even stop what he was doing. Let me just say, he didn't stop what he was doing. So I was like, whoa, I closed the door. So I walk back downstairs, I'm not saying any names, and my dad goes, "What is homie doing upstairs?" I said, "He's watching porn." My dad goes, "Yup." So I'm looking at him like, so I'm like, "You're okay with that?" He goes, "Gotta do what you gotta do."
Yeah, that age now, that's what I'm saying.
That's what he said. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So like I told you guys, my dad doesn't give explanations, eh? That man doesn't like to talk.
Is that where the term "say no more" comes from?
You see what I'm saying? So he goes, "Gotta do what you gotta do." And I said, "Okay." And then he goes, "You go watch too, I said, "I'm good." And he's like, "All right, well, pack your stuff up and just wait till he's done." And that was it. We never spoke about it again. And never got no details of. At least he said wear a hat.
Brother, I don't know what that means, guy.
But you know now.
Yeah, now. That's what I'm saying. So obviously over time, sex ed in school is what really gave me the contextual needs to my thought processing, right? But yeah, bro, it was insane. But again, to go on to learning to love women or how to treat women or how I view women, I also got the idea of, I don't know about you guys, but the bartering system or the value system of a man is, you like a lot of nice things, but so do women, so you're gonna have to get your money up. And that's more or less what it was. It wasn't more so like a thing of, you got to be this type of person, you got to be this person, they'll come and they'll love you, or no, it was, make sure your money's right, women will come.
I never even got that talk. That would have been a good talk. Get your money up.
Make sure you have yourself situated, and they'll come.
Yeah, I got that more from my mom. Women like nice things. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have money. Make sure you pay on the first date. All those lessons. But my dad, I'm just a fun guy. I don't think he needs to do those things. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's a time I didn't even need to do those things. I didn't even believe in it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I thought I was the prize at one point.
Come on,
I'm still the prize, but I'm still a prize, but not the prize. You know what I mean?
I can go on about that, but we can go to the next one. I can go for days.
Nah, I hear you. Trust me. Okay, so for the dads in the room, to help me and to Sean out and the non-fathers, what are some of the behaviors you had to stop because there are thin lines between discipline and control?
For me, I had to learn to let my son be a kid. I think you look at a lot of the situations that they're doing things, and you look at it through a grown-up lens, and they're not grown-ups. They don't understand intellectually, contextually, any of those things, what's going on to the capacity that you do. For instance, when they're having a meltdown, obviously it's embarrassing to you if you're in public or whatever the case is, but their emotions are not developed enough to understand the situation that they're doing said thing in front of all these people that looks like that makes you look like you're not a good parent, even if you are, if you're not. So I more so had to just kind of step back from the situation and let my son be a kid. I think the best realization I had with that was I had him in basketball class, and he was playing with older kids. and I saw myself like getting upset all the time. Like, hey, listen, pay attention. The coach is talking to you. Not realizing that he is not at that level at those kids. He wants to jump around, be Spider-Man, shoot his fingers, jump all around. But I'm getting upset, and I'm not letting him be a kid. I'm not letting him be where he's at, like how we always say. So I think, the biggest thing for me was like kind of stepping back and just let him be a kid. Obviously, discipline where you need to discipline, but not control the situation and just let him go through his faults, go through his emotions, go through all the learnings he needs to be a kid and continue to grow up. Because at the end of the day, time goes like this, brother, and you don't want them to grow up. So you might as well enjoy the days that you do have with them being kids.
Super like that. Fred?
Before with Juice, you're not the only father that's on the sideline doing that. Every father does. I'm just gonna put it out there for you. You know, I was the worst for that. Sometimes I see him do. Oh, pack it up. We're done. We're not doing this. You're not embarrassing me. Pack. What did I say? Pack it up. And I had that realization too. I was like, you know what? He's only 8. You know what I mean? Like, sure, I would have loved for somebody to do that for me. But, like they also take that step back and just embrace the moments. Because as much as we know we want them to be mature in situations, they are still kids. Because could you remember when you were 8 and your dad's on the sideline yelling at you and you're like, what's going on here? I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? Like sometimes my son will come up to me like, did I play good today? I said, big guy, did you have fun? He goes, yeah. I said, well, that's what matters right now. We'll work on it. He goes, no, because I don't want to make you upset. And I'm like, oh, damn, that's how he sees
validation,
it. You know what I mean? So then, like sometimes I get into it. Like I told you guys the last time, sometimes I get so into it that even when I catch myself, I was like, I'm an asshole. You know what I mean? But like Dion said, just take that step back, let them be kids, let them enjoy the moments. But you gotta let them enjoy the moments. And you don't enjoy it too much, or you try to get involved too much. You know what I mean? The whole breaking down the mall thing, I'm gonna be honest with you, the Jamaican in me ain't having that. Yo, get up.
No, straight up.
I'm not playing.
100%.
Get up.
100%.
Like my daughter tried that the other day. And we started walking.
Was that when I was on the phone?
Yeah. He felt it. He's like, I'm going to call you back.
Was tense in there, dog.
It got tense real fast because, like, they learn these things. You know what I mean? And she goes to daycare. She sees other kids do it. But in certain households, you guys already know, your parents ain't playing that either. He's might have to kiss his teeth because
that's the not falling too far from the tree business. Because I see some of these things where some people leave their kid in the aisle and then hopefully they'll find. I don't have time for all that. No.
Like my partner told me.
Come on.
My partner told me like, oh, he'll pick her up and put her in a corner in the grocery store and go continue grocery shopping. I said, big man, let me. He's like, we call it the timeout wherever you are. I said, big man.
Trusting people crazy.
Let me tell you something. When I was growing up, the timeout would have been on a knockout. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're talking about. So even if my kids do that, I'll be honest with you, there's always that fear that somebody will take your kid. So I'm not doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like me, I pick them up like this and I just continue going where I'm going. Their arm, their leg, they can be upside down.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I just pick them up. Yeah, right? And then, well, daddy put me down. No. I didn't want you on the floor. You know, your clothes are clean. I'm going to hold you like this until you figure it out. And we just continue walking or going. And I know you guys probably think it's a joke, literally holding them like this, right? As we go through wherever we're going through. And then when I realize that their arm or where their legs hurting, then I'll just hold them. And then they want to go back down. No, you lost that privilege. When you were walking and, you were doing your thing and I was letting you do your thing until you decided that now you want to be upset, you want to drop to the floor and you want to act like a child. I hate to say it, they're a child, but at the same time, no disrespect. You're not embarrassing me.
There's learnings in that. I mean, that's also just not how you act. You shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, even going back to like learning how I had to step back. I see something like my oldest son doing it to my youngest son. Like when he's doing something, he's like, Jason, stop! And I learn. I'm like, oh man, I gotta stop this because
you're doing it.
To him, now he thinks he can do it. You know what I mean? And like to your point of being a sponge, bro, they're soaking everything up. I'm
telling you,
everything up, bro. They're watching I'm my son's hero. Like, you know what I mean? And he's watching everything I do, down to how I treat his mom, how I interact with him, how I interact with his brother, how I look, how I am when I come home after work, how I am when I'm going out, when I'm doing all this. He's watching everything, bro. His lingo, man says words to me sometimes. I'm like,
where you pick that up at?
He's gonna go like this. You daddy.
you know I realized when I had to change it? When there's two things. My daughter said to my son, "What did I say?" I said,
"Oh yeah, she's spicy."
I said, "Oh, okay." And then here's the best one. I got up in the morning and see my son on the couch. He came, hailed me. I'd be like, "What you saying, my G?" I said, I can't be saying this thing anymore. You know what I mean?
Yo, they're sponges, bro. Sponges.
So, you know, as you guys know, two fathers on here. Some of the takeaways from this episode that, you know, they're alluding to and things that we discussed going on is presence matters more than perfection. And I think those things that you guys are talking about that Tashawn and I have also alluded to, and just, you know, dealing with our fathers and things of that nature, they're there. Presence matters more than perfection. You know, we're human at the end of the day. We're not going to get everything right.
I want to add to that. Like, again, obviously, we always talk about sports here. When I was in university, we had our head coach, and then we had a couple assistant coaches. None of us ever respected the assistant coaches, and there was no disrespect to them. They all have lives. They don't get paid like the head coach. They would pop in every now and then. You know what I mean? And, like, they'd come and they'd try and tell us things. And we'd be like, yo, you got to go there on that. I'm like, brother, you don't know what you're talking about. Even if they're right, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not here.
Right.
And so I say that to say this. It's the same thing as it comes to, like, raising your kids. You don't need you to be perfect. We just need you to be there. Or they just need you to be there.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the lessons that I had to, like, learn for myself, to just make sure. Because, like, I'm sure you're hard on yourself sometimes too. Like, man, I need to be there more. But it's just, as long as you're there, that's all that matters. Dylan, when we had Dylan here, he said it best, man. He's like, yo, I just throw my phone away. I be present in the moment. It's not perfect. Maybe, you know, sometimes I have to go take a phone call or whatever. They're not going to remember the phone call. They're going to remember, yeah, you just played with me. That's all that matters.
Facts.
I want to add to that too, because it's like you guys we're making an excellent point with that. And one thing I've noticed, even like with my father, is that like there's a couple of the mothers of my siblings that won't let him be around. And it's like it breaks my heart, because I just know that even though my father wasn't perfect, it's like it was better, way better than not having him there at all. You know what I mean? All the lessons I learned, that bond you build. So it's sad to know that. Imagine having a father that you never got to have a bond with or see, and they're there and they're alive and they exist. So it's like I just want to emphasize like how important that is. And like they were watching, or if there's people out there watching that like your father's around and you're just angry and you're holding on to it, that's hurting you.
Question: Who's angry, the mother or the child?
I don't even know anymore. Both sometimes. I actually don't know, and there's because there's so many situations. But you know, in some cases the child, sometimes it's the mother. Sometimes the mother
shapes the view
of the child. So
Yeah,
it's very hard to say without really dissecting it to like having the conversation. Be like, why are you mad? You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, you have these situations with these baby mothers, and it's like, if they're mad at him and they feel a type of way toward him, it can now affect
The relationship.
the
with
whole relationship with the child.
Yeah.
And that to me is kind of sad. You know what I mean? Because it seems like there was a time, or there are certain parents, like you said, here, take your kids. And there's certain people who are like, you're not getting your kids. And that breaks my heart, because I just know like the impact my father had on my life. He wasn't perfect, but he was my hero. It's important to have.
Can I counter that? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to gather in my mind. So you're saying like when the mother or the child is mad at the father, the mother says, hey, you know what, you're not seeing the child or whatever. Has the father let the mother and the child down in a situation where they're like, okay, they're done with this because it seems like it's a pattern, and that's why we don't want you to be a part of this, because you're now causing more damage when you're in the life part-time than actually being here? Do you see what I'm saying?
I do what you're saying. So you're saying, is it better to have a part-time dad versus just cut him off?
Yeah.
Period?
So, okay, I don't have that situation, so I can only speak, obviously, a speculation.
Yeah, of course.
Right? There could be many scenarios as to maybe the mother being hurt, or and then also being hurt, thinking that you may hurt their child, right? So
she
to
protected
protect
their
that,
child. Yeah.
they're not letting you do that to their child. Now, there also might be the situation that you're saying where it's like, even though I'm hurt, I've let you still be there for your child, but then I've seen you time and time again
Let the person
jerk around their emotions, play with their time, different things like that, and now I'm extra protective over that child because now you're playing with not only me, but you're playing now with my child, and they get to see it firsthand. There could be many scenarios to, like I said, either side of those. I think, again, it speaks to everything that we're talking about. Redefining what that masculinity means by being emotionally available, being honest, like you were talking about, about, you can't get certain lies off. You got to be able to change. You got to be a person that is willing to make up for the mistakes that you did. And then also on the flip side, just like, you got to make an honest effort where I remember you talked about this in the fatherhood episode we had before. We talked about, there was a scenario of one of your homies that mother wouldn't let that man see his child, but he did everything he had to see that child. So going to whatever extent we can to be there for our child is, again, through hell and high water. So yeah, man, I don't know how to speak to that other than just those main points, right?
I have something. I think, like, you made a great point. I look at it this way. Have all of you been angry toward your father at some point?
Absolutely.
In your life?
100%.
And held on to it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who did that hurt?
Both. But me mainly.
Well, you can't say that it hurt him. 'Cause you
Absolutely
don't,
no, though.
Okay.
Absolutely no. But like I said.
But did it hurt all of you? Could you say, like, when
Me,
you were angry, was it
me.
hurtful towards yourself?
That's why I said me mainly.
For me, speaking for myself, I built up a lot of anger in my heart towards him. So no matter what he said or did, it was just because I was so angry. Like, I would always see red when I see him, right? So I don't know if it hurt him. I don't know, because I also didn't express to him that, yo, I'm mad at you, and this is the reason why. So I don't know, but I just know it more so. I don't even know if it hurt our relationship, because what I'm telling you guys, the man's a man of a few words.
Say no more.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he probably has that tatted on his back. I don't even know. But like, sometimes I really don't know. I just know, like, I was protecting myself, so I didn't want to be let down anymore. So it just, like, how many times are you gonna let me down? And then it's like I built up all this anger, and now I'm angry. Like, if you say something to me, I might punch you in your face. That's how angry I was. But then I realized, like, and nobody helped me realize this. Nobody. I just realized I gotta let go of all that anger, because there's no point of being angry at him. I don't know what he went through, and once again, that's me making excuses for him, right? But at the same time, you're my father. Like, I felt like I remember him saying to me one time, "Oh, I still call my father, so you should call me." Yo, big man, what are you telling me right now? You're the father. Call me. You know my number. That's the way I saw it. But I just let it all go.
And I think that's the point I was trying to make. It's like, you either hold on to it and it hurts you, or you let it go. But I think, like, a lot of times in these situations, everybody's still holding on to that pain. And a lot of times when you're letting it go, you're either just saying, you know what, I give up. It's not worth it. And that's a rare, like, you saying it's not worth it means the man's he's a real deadbeat. But in the event where you could sit down and have a conversation and be like, yo, this is how I feel. All this stuff you've done has made me feel this way. Now you're actually working on it. But a lot of people, they're just holding on to this resentment. And that's what I'm saying. It could be the baby mother. It could be the kids. Everybody's holding on to this, and they're carrying it through their life when they could actually let it go. But no one's letting it go. And that's what I'm saying is, like, you let it go by just saying, I'm done, it's whatever, or you have the conversation. But usually people are doing neither.
Let me ask you guys a question. When you're at work and your boss comes to you and says, hey, you were late 9 times out of the last 10 days, but you know that's not the truth, right? What do? Do you argue the point, or do you kind of sit there and just take it?
Yeah, more times than not, you probably just have to hold it.
It's an authoritative figure. So, like, to your point, I 100% agree with what you're saying, but I think a lot of times people are not having that conversation solely because this is a person that you look at from an authoritative lens. And to tell now this person that you've looked up to or that's in the hierarchy has been up here to you, to tell them now that they're doing wrong or they've done wrong, I can see why a lot of people sway away from that conversation. Because one, you don't know how it's gonna go because you don't know. You've never seen that other side of that person. You don't understand. They've never let you into be like, oh, I'm receptive to this kind of information. Do you know what I mean?
A respect of equal adult grounds.
Do you know what I mean?
But you've done wrong is different than this is how I feel. Those are two different things. You saying how you feel, hey dad, you always late and you never show up for me. That makes me really sad.
Yeah, well, your mother, she always would never answer my text messages, whatever.
Now that's what I said, but that does change things though, because what he's saying and then how you responded is usually how fathers do respond. However, that's still you being a defense or authoritative figure versus it being. But that's not. No, I understand what you're getting. Coming from. I understand what you're getting at, but it's wrong though, right? Because I'm not telling you that you're wrong for it. I'm telling you what you've done has made me feel 100%. Right? So no matter what the reason is, how can we now change this so I can feel differently because what you're doing has hurt me?
Because like even I'll go on the other side of the coin now. Sometimes when like for example, I told my son something and like you were wrong, and then he's like, "Well, but daddy, da." I feel it. I'm like, I'm not telling him. I'm not telling him.
I'm not giving this part up. Yeah,
but to now have done the work and realize like how important it is to tell him that I'm sorry and I'm wrong in that situation, I'll do that. But I don't think the generation, a lot of like, based on what the information that we do have, I don't think a generation of our fathers and past before that are hearing that.
For sure.
I'm sure they will, but it's like you have this ideology of them that this is how they are and this is how they're going to.
And most times it's not wrong. You're right. Most times that ideology is not wrong. Again, I hope you guys can see that we are, having this conversation is something that we all are passing to you to hope you can have that conversation. Whether it's personally with the father or the mother or whomever you need to have it with, whether it's amongst your friends, whether it's with that deadbeat that you know is a friend of yours. Go have that convo and let them know that the tide is changing. We're not having that no more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
You're taking the charge.
Absolutely. So a little bit of call to action. Deshaun, I know you were talking about a guys' night. What are we doing with that?
Yeah, every last Thursday of the month.
Okay.
We're looking at having a guys' night. Check our page for more information, but we want to just host a guys' night, have the guys come here and have a host for a topic. So it could be about fatherhood, it could be about money management, it could be about nutrition, it could be about barbering.
Come on.
Could be about entrepreneurship.
Jeez.
Could be about fighting.
Why are you looking at me?
No, I was fighting.
Oh,
yeah,
fighting him?
No.
Fight who?
Never mind.
Anyway.
My point is, look out for guys' nights. We want to bring people together. The whole point of us making He's a Guy was to have conversations and bring people together. And we did a great job of that, the live show, but let's continue that.
Absolutely. Join Mind State U. Cop some He's a Guy merch. Remember to like, comment, subscribe.
Before we go
ahead, shout me.
Being on the topic of men, I want to give a shout out to all the men that are taking care of their responsibilities, that show up night, day, doesn't matter, rain, snow, sleet, whatever the case is. Your presence matters. It's important that we show up for our kids because it's showing them that they can dream and they have somebody in their corner, and that's so important for their everyday life. So to my friends, to the people that I see, keep doing the work. And two, in case you didn't know, He's a Guy's back, brother.
And before we go, no,
that was a great closeout.
It was, but I don't feel like I got what we need to get off.
Okay.
So we're not gonna pull a card and we're not gonna play the game. I have a question.
Okay.
And we're gonna start with Steph, to Theon, to Deshaun, to me.
Why you always last?
Because I'm the one asking the question.
We'll start it.
No.
All right.
I just want to hear what you guys are gonna say. If you had to say one thing to your father, what would you say to him?
Whoo. If I could say one thing to my dad, what would I say?
Just let loose, like no feelings, no like, I can't believe he said that to me, or what's the one thing you would say to your dad?
Let go. Let go.
Do we get some context to that, or
Want context?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
So in terms of letting go, I mean, again, he's still a man, but knowing this man, he's a man built of like a lot of high emotion, a lot of trauma. Sorry, and they do shape how he moves. They do shape how stoic he can be, how quiet he can be, how guarded and shielded he could be. That's, like I said, like we talked about the apple not far and fall from the tree. When I give you guys stories and how vague those things can be, I get that from him. You know, so letting go some of those, a lot of those traumas, a lot of that hurt, I feel like could help shape the years that we have together going forward. Not just me, but my other siblings as well. So
I would tell him kind of the theme that we had here, presence over perfection. I think your presence mattered when I was a kid. Your presence matters now that you're a grandfather. There's lessons that you have that I don't have that they can learn from. And to this, you still being my dad right now, there's lessons that I can learn from you. So presence matters more than perfection.
Those are some good ones.
I would say, honestly, I love you. And why I chose that is because I think my dad carries a lot of guilt and shame. And the guilt and shame of like what he could have done and what he should have done, mistakes he made, all these things he's carrying. And it stops him from loving everybody else. It's like he knows how to love you at the beginning, but it's like he knows how to love you for the fun stuff. But it gets hard for him when it gets hard. And I think why he needs to hear I love you is because like I love him unconditionally. Like it doesn't matter whether he shows up or doesn't show up or makes mistakes, or I don't care about any of that. I love him. I want him to carry that love with everybody that he touches. Because I don't love people conditionally. You could hurt me, I'll try to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And it's like I want him to be like that and always just like when he says he loves somebody, I want him to mean it. So I say I love you because I love him unconditionally and I want him to pass that love on to others.
Me, I got a ton, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I would say thank you. And the reason why I say thank you, not because you did a great job, because you also taught me what I don't want to be. Right? And when I was telling you guys all the anger I had built up, it was all towards him. And when I had my son, that's when I let it go. Because I was like, you know what? Me having this anger towards him is probably going to pass on to my son. So I let it go. And I moved on. So that's why I would say thank you. I would say a lot of things like, why weren't you there? Like, you know, but then it goes back to saying, we don't know what he was going through. Because he's still a human at the end of the day. But you still have a family here. Regardless of if you and my mom are not together. You know what I mean? So it could go back and forth. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet because I know we're coming up on the end. And, you know, I see Juice wiping away tears. We don't want to get emotional on here right now. You know, I see Tashawn saying, like, I love you, about to tear up. But it's real. So mine is literally, like thank you.
And I think, I just want to say, like, I would want to challenge the audience. If you have a father figure or a father in your life, do the same thing.
Get to know that man beyond being a father, yo. Find out who that man is as a human. I promise you to unlock a lot of answers a lot of answers to questions that you might have about him, for sure. I challenge us to do the very same, you know. But yeah, from us to you guys. See you again, right here.
Top shot, that's our buck.
Full effect.
One love.
Bomb.